evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
स्टार्ट करते ही लेकिन दोस्तों बता देते हैं कि इसको कैसे किया जाएगा और इसको पैक करेंगे। तो देखो फ्रेंड्स आपको
हे बंद करून जा आणि दार ओढून घे.
बच्चे ने जो उसके दिमाग में फीलिंग आई, बाद में बच्चे ने ही नो बोल दिया, पेरेंट्स को भी कोई ऑब्जेक्शन नहीं है.
Can you all please mute your mics? Yes, Rupesh, why your hand is up?
Hmm.
Yes, none like SOP the underground. Thank you.
You are
Atharva.
yes, I'm here.
Even
Atharva what?
Atharva.
Sir, RANA, are you ready? 2 minutes more and then we can begin.
Yes, I am ready.
Okay, sir. Okay, we'll begin now. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to this webinar, series 3. We have the second webinar in the series 3. We had started our journey in the pandemic to understand mathematics learning and how to innovate in mathematics learning. The main theme of our mathematics webinar is strategies and solutions for boosting mathematics learning. I would like to inform you that our institution has now become an autonomous institution, and we are now conducting this webinar under St. Xavier's Institute of Education, Autonomous. Today's topic is Teaching and Learning of Mathematics in ENDEMIC and Beyond by Professor INDER RANA. We thank Sir for coming here and agreeing to give this session. This was a burning issue for all of us in our pedagogy group to understand how students are now responding to mathematics after the pandemic. And we also identified a number of problems. Can you all use the mic, please? Okay. We realized that there are a number of problems with student interaction post-pandemic, and the teachers did have a problem in responding to the students. The students also did not have the past knowledge to carry on with their mathematics work. So therefore, keeping this need in mind, we approached Sir, and he was very kind enough to agree to our invitation. Now, the webinar series is an activity conducted by the mathematics pedagogy. And the main objective of this webinar series is to spread awareness about mathematics teaching learning, to help teachers, researchers, scholars to understand mathematics education in a better manner, in the way that you need to transfer to the students so that the students can enjoy mathematics. Also, another objective of this webinar series is to bring together different resource persons to engage with teachers and interested people engaged in mathematics education. Please do write to us at mathslearning@sxi.in, which was projected in the PowerPoint. And we also have YouTube channel, Mathematics Learning, where the recordings of this webinar will be posted. So I hope that you have a good time, and I'm recording this. This mathematics webinar is solely conducted by the mathematics pedagogy group. So over to the mathematics pedagogy group for conducting this seminar. So let us have the introduction of our resource person, Professor INDER RANA, and I invite my student to introduce Sir. So I invite Nisi to introduce Sir for us this evening. Nisi.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to all. On behalf of the Mathematics Department of St. Xavier's Institute of Education, I welcome the mathematics talents from different parts of the world and the notable academic scholars who have gathered today. It is a privilege and honor to have Dr. INDER K. RANA today as our resource person. He is an adjunct professor at the Department of Mathematics, IIT Bombay. He is a man with vision and action. He has completed his PhD in the year 1979 from IIT and has published 4 books in the field.
Yes, Nisi.
Hello,
We can't hear you.
can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, Nisi, we can't hear you.
Ma'am, were you able to hear my starting part?
Yeah. Okay, someone else can continue then.
Yes, he is an adjunct professor at the Department of Mathematics, IIT Bombay. He is a man with vision and action. He has completed his PhD in the year 1979 from IIT and has published 4 books in the field of mathematics. He has also received 4 prestigious awards for his excellent work in the field of mathematics and teaching. Various interactive web resources and 4 online courses through MOOC programs have been introduced by Dr. INDER K. RANA. Along with his research in the IIT institution, he has also dedicated his life for math education and activities. 400 plus teachers have been influenced by his activities. His vision is to train 300 plus teachers in Maharashtra and to establish a center for math education. Thank you, sir, for joining with us. We welcome you once again.
Over to Sir. Before Sir begins, I would request all the participants to kindly mute your mics. If you have any question, you can unmute, but please don't disturb by keeping your mics on. Thank you, and over to Sir.
Okay. I hope everybody, good evening, everybody. And I hope my screen is visible to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see.
Yes,
Okay. To begin with, let me clarify one thing, that I am not adjunct professor at IIT Bombay. I have fully retired. So you can see I have written here ex-IIT Bombay. So I'm not a faculty member or adjunct faculty at IIT Bombay now. So with that correction, let me begin. When Vinny asked me to talk about teaching and learning in the present scenario, she said after pandemic. Then I thought it is not after pandemic. Pandemic is not yet over. As a beautiful ad by some company says, हाथी निकल गया है मगर उसकी पूंछ अभी बाकी है. So still we are getting about 8,000 new COVID cases per day in India. So the virus is not fully gone. Of course, the effectiveness has reduced, and so be there with the caution. And that's why I've written as teaching and learning of mathematics, not after pandemic, but in endemic. So this period by professionals is called endemic now, end of the pandemic. And of course, what I'm going to say is valid for more time to come. It's a more of a strategy which will help us to come out of various problems. So let me thank Vinny for asking me, because I knew that there are problems about teaching and learning or education as such because of the COVID. And it has caused a lot of upheavals, but the extent to which it has caused, to measure it quantitatively, it gave me an opportunity for that. So in some part of my lecture today, I will go through those data about what has happened. And then in the later half of my lecture, I will talk about the possible solutions. All right. So teaching and learning of maths in endemic and beyond. So let me begin with when did we start this? The date was 24th of March 2020, when suddenly overnight there was a lockdown in India, and that changed almost every aspect of our life. Teaching and learning of maths in endemic and beyond. Let me begin with somebody has switched on the YouTube channel. So please, the YouTube channel, you can view it later on. Okay, right. So let me continue. The date was 24th of March, the date when first lockdown was imposed for the safety of everybody. And it changed everything. Almost every part of our life has changed. How we work, this is how we started working. Everybody was working from home, right? So this gives a scenario of working from home. Okay. How we interact, the social distancing was the norm of the day, and this cartoon beautifully says what is social distancing at that time. Okay. Our eating habits changed. Everybody was keen on getting a healthy diet to improve the immune system so that you don't catch the virus and so on. So overall, our eating habits changed. So the breakfast, it improved by about 33 to 44%. Lunch, it changed from 18 to 31, and dinner from 21 to 33. That is pre-COVID and since COVID. Okay. And advantages or the effect is we are still continuing with those good habits. The personal hygiene, we started washing our hands frequently, covering our nose when sneezing, avoiding touching eyes, and trying to disinfect everything that we. So these are the various things that we did. But the most crucial one to us was how teaching and learning changed. The teaching became online from home, and students are learning on their laptops or phones. So let us just a quick data. As per UN report, school closure have impacted around 247 million children which are enrolled in elementary and secondary educations in India. This is only for India. Okay, 247 million. Teachers were straight away asked to jump into something called a new method of teaching called online teaching. Okay, or distance learning modalities. There was no guidance given to teachers. There was no training available to them how to implement it. It was like a child being thrown into the water and asked to swim. Okay, so teachers all over the globe were chiefly ill-equipped to hold this continuity in education and to get used to this new methodologies of teaching. It was almost like teaching to a virtual community of students. All teachers, educators, sports staff, family, and caregivers. But the beauty is all of them rose to the challenge and rallied to provide social, emotional, and academic support to our students that was needed. So that was the beauty of it, that we all join together, create resources, and do the needful. So here is a small appreciation of teachers. Not all heroes wear caps. Many of them are teachers. Teachers did a wonderful job, and I'm really happy that teaching community came up to the need of the hour. Now, after many weeks of distance learning, which was challenging to children, parents, and teachers, and schools started reopening in September 2021, right? So after about 2 years of closed schooling, schools started reopening partially, slowly, and so on. Both parents and teachers were very happy. Teachers and parents were very happy that our children will be going to school, and then none of them wanted that they should come back to distance learning. The joy of covering books with brown papers, new school bags, polishing canvas shoes, buying new raincoats, sharing stories of occasion, etc. These were the joys of joys that students have, and all were looking forward to it. Middle grade students emphasize how important it is physically present in the classroom. The physical presence is important to interact with friends and to share opinions about different subjects with each other and their teachers. So this is the importance of offline teaching, going to school. Let me show you a small clip prepared on this by one of the, I think it is the McKinsey group which prepared this. So let us, just a small clip, how students feel about.
मेरा स्कूल पुल के उस पार है, मगर कब से बंद है। मुझे घर में अकेले पढ़ना अच्छा नहीं लगता। काश स्कूल फिर से खुल जाए, सभी मास्क पहने और एक दूसरे से दूरी बनाए रखें, ताकि कोविड-19 की वजह से मेरा स्कूल फिर से बंद ना हो।
मेरा स्कूल अब फिर से खुल चुका है। अब मैं वापस से अपने दोस्तों के साथ बैठकर साफ और मजेदार खाना खा पाऊंगी।
कोविड के चलते बाबा की नौकरी चली गई और मेरा स्कूल भी। बाबा कह रहे थे कि मेरी शादी करवा देंगे, लेकिन मैं तो पढ़ना चाहती हूँ। काश बाबा को उनकी नौकरी वापस मिल जाए और मुझे मेरा स्कूल।
क्लास 1 से लेकर क्लास 3 हो गया, मैं स्कूल ही नहीं जा पाया, लेकिन पता है अपना स्कूल खुल जाएगा और मैं अपने दोस्त के साथ बहुत कुछ घूमने वाला हूँ।
मेरे अब्बू मजदूर थे। कोविड-19 के चलते हमें गांव वापस आना पड़ा, लेकिन यहाँ एक भी स्कूल नहीं। मुझे डर लगता था कि अगर मेरे स्कूल बंद रहे तो कहीं मुझे भी मजदूरी ना करनी पड़े, लेकिन अब्बू ने बताया कि स्कूल फिर से खुल रहे हैं। अब मैं बहुत खुश हूँ।
स्कूल बंद हो गए तो पढ़ाई भी बंद हो गई। घर में सिर्फ एक ही फोन है, वो भी माँ बाबा ने भाई को दे दिया। पर मैं अब बहुत खुश हूँ क्योंकि स्कूल फिर से खुल रहे हैं। फिर से दोस्त लोगों के साथ खेल पाए और पढ़ पाए।
जब मैं क्लास 4 में था मुझे सब कुछ समझ आता था, लेकिन अब ऑनलाइन क्लासेस में मैथ्स और साइंस की कुछ चीजें समझ ही नहीं आती है। काश जल्दी स्कूल खुले और मैं अपने टीचर से सब कुछ समझ पाऊँ। कोविड-19 की वजह से मम्मी घर से बाहर भी नहीं निकलने देती थी। कहीं स्कूल हमेशा के लिए बंद हो गया तो काश कोविड-19 कहीं दूर भाग जाए और मेरा स्कूल वापस खुल जाए।
After a long break, now the children are going back to school. Let us do our bit to help them start learning and reading again. Let this generation of children not be the lost generation. All of us have an important part to play. On this World Children's Day, join UNICEF in creating safe and inclusive environment for children to be back in school and continue learning and having fun.
So I think it is a beautiful clip. In a short clip, a lot of problems were raised. And of course, there is a hope in the end that after the schools reopen, the problems will be solved, which were raised due to the pandemic. I would like to get an update from the participants present in this webinar now. How do they feel about their experiences. So let me, this is a link I'm putting into the chat box. Please click on the link. Okay, and if you have a camera on the mobile phone, you can scan this QR code. You'll be taken to this site, and you'll be posing your problems there.
Prabhuvan.
Please keep your mouth, keep your mic shut. So please go to this website and vote. So let me see if I can open this website and see what is your reaction. And, so this is, I'm looking at a, yeah. So people have already seen the site and they're voting. So there are 4 questions. I would like you to choose one or more anyway. It was very difficult for online teaching for you. It was difficult, but you got used to it. It was a bit difficult, but I had some exposure earlier, so I felt comfortable. And some of what one person feels I had no difficulty in all teaching. So 31 people have, 34 people have shown their opinion. So I think we are more than probably about 100 or 94 people. So I would just give a few minutes more for people to. Please, it is. I'm just showing you a one way of conducting a quiz online. So this is very useful in teaching any subject or more mathematics. So, so please do vote. So once you finish this one slide, I will give you the other slide for voting. So in this, the maximum number of participants out of 54, more than 50% feel they had the difficulty in the beginning, but slowly we got used to it. We learned how to teach online and we did the job. Okay, so I think it's already 60%. So let me give you slide 2. So this is slide 2. Are you able to see the slide 2 and log in and vote? Hello? Yes, good. So already there is a response. More people are responding. Good.
We can see, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, we can see.
Yeah. So please, everybody fill up the response and submit so that we know that what is the problem and probably we can say some solutions for the same. So the first question says, my students have gaps in their learning of last year, means the last academic year, which was in the pandemic, or last 2 years of the pandemic, which were taught online. Students have gaps in that learning. And as a teacher, I find it difficult to fill the gaps from the previous school year and teach the current curriculum. So the problem is there are gaps, so how to teach the current curriculum. So if we have faced that difficulty, then you can click that. Some schools have started extra remedial classes in extra timings. So if that is the case, if a school have done that, so you can, so this is this is a problem faced by the students, this is a problem faced by the teachers, and this is the remedy that being proposed by some of the schools and education system. So I think once again, all three are very instructive. That about 28 persons have said that students have gaps, so that is a reality. And it's also a reality that we don't know how to fill up those gaps. And some remedy the schools have started remedial courses. Okay. All right. So let me go over to the. So this is what we were. So as an outcome of this short quiz, we have seen that
there's nothing else to do. But it is Zoom, it is not webinar. So are you on audio on?
Hello, somebody has a problem? Yeah, okay. So there is a problem that during pandemic, there was a difficulty in teaching online. And as a result of that, probably because it was not as effective as offline teaching, the students had learning gaps. And now when the new session has started, the students with learning gaps are there in the class. So how to rectify that and go ahead. So that is a real problem. And this is, you have agreed and you have voted for these three reasons. Okay, right. So the relief being back to school was short-lived. The opening triggered a panic. How to gain the lost time? Okay. So the pleasure of going back to school was good for students in the sense that they had their pleasure of meeting their friends, talking to them, eating food together, and so on. But when it came to learning, they had difficulty. Okay. There was teachers realized there was something called the lost time, or this is also now started being called as the learning loss, and that was because of the closure of the schools. So the general term learning loss, which I will be referring to again and again, refers to any specific or general loss of knowledge and skills, or to reversals in academic process, most commonly due to extended gap or discontinuities in a student's education. Summer vacation is also, during summer vacation also there is a learning loss, but we teachers give homeworks for summer so that the students keep learning. So here is an observation that while learning loss can manifest in a wide variety of ways for a wide variety of reasons, what are the ways, examples by which learning loss can come? It could be summer break, interrupted formal education because of one reason or the other, the returning of dropouts. Some dropout students, they rejoin the school, so for them there is a learning loss. School absence, the student has been absent from the school because of medical reasons or some other reasons. It could be because of ineffective teaching. So all this could be the reasons for the learning loss. Here is some slide about a survey being conducted, which has been conducted by many surveys are available online by many agencies, right? But I just picked up one to illustrate that the problem is real and it is everywhere. Green says about 38% in 2019, 38% of students were at par, okay, on the grade level. 18 were below grade level, and well below grade level were 44 in 19, kindergarten. But if you look at 20, it has jumped to 31, okay, above grade level, above grade level from 38 to 31, so that is down. 19% has gone below grade level, and 50% is well below grade level. So if we look at the last one, the grade 3, from above grade level, at about or above grade level, from 57, it has come down to 52. So everywhere there is a drop. And this has almost remained the same. Below grade level almost remains the same, but well below grade level from 26 to 31. So there is a learning loss. This is one of the countries, one of the surveys. I have just taken the picture from that. All the government, all the agencies like UNICEF has done it, World Health, UNICEF has done it, World Bank has done it. Almost all teaching and learning agencies, ASAR has done it, and almost all the surveys indicate the same. So what is the remedy? In India, I will talk about the Indian remedies most of the time. A mission Bunyad was started by Delhi government. I don't know how effective it is and how, but the data says a daily session of 45 minutes for basic math and an assessment conducted every working Saturday. So you teach 45 minutes every day and you assess on Saturdays and Sundays and the progress of the catch-up sessions. This is mainly on the basis of the revision by the students. The students revise the academic concepts of the previous classes, and there are worksheets given, tests given to them. So this is one of the remedies, Mission Bunyad. Under this initiative, in April to June, students of the government and the municipal corporation Delhi schools have shown 20 to 30% improvement. That is a claim made by them. How much the claim is true, one wonders about that. Government plans to extend this scheme further. Government of Chhattisgarh has launched something called bridge courses. So, and almost every state has done something about it. So if you want to learn about how states are managing the data, you can, shall I put this website in the chat box in case somebody wants to? Where is the chat box? Chat. There is chat. So I just want to put it so that in case somebody wants to later on or now wants to look at have the various remedies given by the state governments. So I will not talk about this. Let me go ahead. You can see it later on because that is available for you. All right. Here is a report on learning loss and in the gaps in learning. A report was presented to Rajya Sabha in central government, and that is available on this site. Okay, so I will put that also in the chat box so that in case you want to have a look at it, you can have a look at it. It's a PDF document, quite long, and you can see summarize what are the possible things which I have been able to dig out from these reports. So in intensive bridge courses and accelerated learning programs, that is a suggestion given. What has been done, I don't know, but these suggestions should be developed in consultation with experts in the field to make up the learning loss, okay, and bring students to the level of the current class. Learning outcomes subject-wise should be assessed by regularly conducting tests, multiple choice question quizzes, and remedial measures taken through intense, customized personal remedial. All these are suggestions given, and they are very difficult to implement. My feeling is that because already students are burdened with a lot of unit tests, class tests, and we add up more tests on them, that will add to the misery of the students. That is my feeling. Of course, there is extra classes why not add extra classes, curtailment of vacations, assigning expert teachers for personalized coaching, parental engagement, peer group, and all these things will again add to the problem of students rather than solving the problem, because extra classes means students have to stay extra in the classroom. Okay, and vacations, if they are cut, vacations is the period where students are given a chance to be away from school and learn something other than the regular classroom thing. Overall development, that will be gone. And so all these are suggested and are being implemented by many of the schools and state governments, but I don't think they really give any, they are really effective. They also says that senior class students should be advised to take up the role of mentors and take classes for the junior. But again, that who will ask the senior students to take up? How will you select the students, and why they should spend their time on for teaching junior students? Special instruction material, worksheets, workbooks may be created. Again, once again, these are, unless these instruction material and worksheets are shared under a facilitator, giving them as such is of no use. After all the material of the previous years is available in the textbook. You can always refer to a textbook and say that chapter you should revise. Mandatory helpline centers for every subject to clear the doubts. Again, we know how these helpline centers work, whether students will come there or not. How will you ensure that the students who have difficulty will come to that? So all these are suggestions given in the various reports. Some of these things are operative and are functional and are effective in some of the countries where the class strength is a bit small. So where, for example, a primary section has only 20 students, so the teacher can cater to almost every student. But our scenario in India is much more difficult. We have a bigger number of students in the classes, and right. So all the suggestions, I'm not saying these are all theoretical ones. They are being tried out by various countries, various schools, in India also. More formative assessments by chatbot. Okay, that is one of the methods of formative assessments. Okay, and targeted instructions, then one can be given. So these are all some more programs that is possible. Somebody also gave a suggestion, we should, so basically additional learning time and instructional solutions. On the extended school year, schools can start academic year earlier, again putting pressure on the students. And this will put pressure. Most of the studies are inclusive. Many have tried to do that, but there is no evidence which is conclusive and saying that this extended school year will work. So this is also not a very good remedy. Extending school periods and days, again, I think that remedial class that we have talked about, effectively what they have lost in a year, you can't cover it in a short while, in a very short span of a remedial class. Activities connect to standards from the year ago and aim to have students master content from the past year. Again, that requires time. Okay, additional learning time is most effective. How will you know that in the additional classes, will you make attendance compulsory in the additional classes? Why you should do that? Okay, so that is another issue. And one more issue is there, that cost of additional school days, when you are asking teachers to take additional school days, additional hours, will they be paid for that? After all, teachers are also doing a job. They also have a limited time for their own life and for school life. So will there be additional funds made available by the state or the center for arranging these additional hours? You'll be surprised, in many countries abroad, funds are being made available for such activities. So I don't know, in India, I have no idea whether teachers are being paid extra for the extra hour. If somebody has an idea, you can unmute and say, yes, your school is paying for the extra hours that you are conducting. Anybody wants to respond to the last question? No? Okay. So let us go ahead. Also suggested is that the curriculum may be realigned in some way. So there was a committee set up by, I think, under the headship of Manjul Bhargava, a well-known mathematician, and also interested in math education at all levels, observed that authorities need not wait for the completion of the curriculum revision exercise to start helping students. So this session is very welcome session, and they suggested curriculum alignment. That meant horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. Horizontal alignment essentially means that the teachers keep in mind the continuity of the curriculum as per that particular grade. So as the grades, in the grade itself, what is dependent on what is the prerequisites. So that is alignment, horizontal alignment. And the vertical alignment is something more crucial, but more difficult, that the teachers from the earlier grades and the lower grades have regular meetings and see what the students are missing. And probably sometimes they can rearrange the students, that the students of upper level can come attend to classes of the lower level and revise their course curriculum. So this is called the vertical. So vertical alignment is alignment of the curriculum along the grades up to down, and horizontal is in the grade itself. Another remedy is what is called redemption. So that is what we have already talked about. That is called redemption or remedial classes. So again, we have seen that this does not. Many of the teachers said that they are holding remedial classes. So would someone of the teachers like to share their views about the remedial classes they are organizing? Because it's not only you are the teacher in the classroom at school level, so you are a better expert to give me the feedback rather than the reports from the web or otherwise. So I would appreciate if some teacher says whether if he or she has conducted remedial classes and whether it has helped in some way or the other, so that other teachers can also take care about such things. Will somebody like to say something? I think a large number of teachers said that remedial classes. So,
sir, in the internship schools where we go, there some schools had conducted bridge courses, and then when the students were not faring well, they had the remediation classes. Like, some of the concepts were retaught. That is what some of the teachers said.
Yeah, but what is the outcome after the remedial class was done?
Okay, so that I'm not aware of, sir.
Yeah, so the idea is we know the problem, we can diagnose the problem, we have ways of diagnosing the problem, but what is the outcome of the remedy that we are suggesting, whether that So Shubhangi is suggesting that play mathematical games which will reinforce the concept and appreciation of knowledge. That's good. So that is again not about the remedial course. This is an action, remedial action we can take. So instead of giving worksheets and so on, she is suggesting that we should have a gamification of the previous knowledge so that the students play games, and while playing games, the concepts are revised. In fact, the whole teaching, if we can make it as a gamification of teaching the present content, present year also, that will be great. So that is a great way of teaching concepts. I fully agree, Shobhangi. Anybody else would like to say something? Please put in the chat box or say something so that we can. But as such, remedial classes, conventionally that means either every day the students meet the teacher after the class hours, or weekly once. We spend 2-3 hours in conducting a class, and so such things. So I just want to know whether anybody has any outcome of these remedial courses. There are studies done not in India but abroad. I have some data, but I thought because I am talking to teachers in India, it will be a good opportunity to listen to their feedback. Right. So if somebody still has something to say, please. Otherwise, I will go ahead. Okay. So I think for the time being, probably let us go ahead. So remedial courses have a drawback. Students' access to grade level content is delayed. If you are doing a remedial class, students are not understanding something now of the previous year. So if you continue teaching the next year's thing, they will not understand that, and this will pile up for them. So this is one of the drawbacks of remedial courses. And research have shown again and again that this does not work. So as I said, I have a lot of data. But what is the outcome? So what is being suggested is what is called learning should be accelerated. So it is being suggested by experts and world over that we should accelerate our learning process. So what does that mean? I will try to explain. So what is accelerated learning? Okay. Accelerated learning is not simply speeding through the curriculum. It's not as if it's a train which has to go from one station to another. You quickly go through from one station to another, and you are already short of time. So try to finish the curriculum. So that is not what we are looking at. What is accelerated learning mean? It is something else. So this term, this accelerated learning says something different, but it means totally different something. It is a way of thinking just about in-time interventions, the right type of amount of, the right type and the right amount of support at the right time to fill in the gaps. So it says you, as a teacher, you find that your students have a gap at some point, and you can't just go back and revise everything. Okay, so just give those inputs which will help you to go ahead, and then probably the details can be worked out, or references or worksheets can be given that how do you reinforce these things by going through this worksheets or some lectures. Akanksha is saying attending remedial classes. On remedial classes, Akanksha Rai is saying that attending remedial classes provides students with more reading and discussion and improved learning skills. I don't deny, Akanksha, with you, because students have more time, so they can do more things. But either these remedial classes will be held during the periods. That means you will be eating away your time of the current topics. And if you are doing it later on, say weekly or something, then the students are left with those gaps and you cannot teach further. So either way, remedial classes really don't work because of the time constraint, and you want to go ahead. Of course, this additional classes will help. Studies show that students who experience learning acceleration struggle less. So there is a conclusive evidence about it, that and learn more than those students who started at the same level but had. So compared to remedial classes, accelerated learning, which means just in time inputs about the right type at right amount of inputs, is better than real classes. So that way you spend less time on what you want to gap. You remove the gap for the time being, not the detailed way. Of course, you cannot teach the whole thing in a short while, but you can teach as much as will be enough to go about the next lecture, about the next topic. And of course, there is a strong evidence that learning acceleration successfully provides students with the understandings that they need for accessing the grade level content. So this is the remedy that is being practiced by many teachers across the globe, and the studies they are putting up shows that this is working very well. So let me spend now some time. I have gone almost halfway of my talk. So let me go ahead a bit and look at what is accelerated learning and how can we sort of implement in our classroom. I think that is what teachers may be interested in. So accelerated learning means recall and get back into the rhythm of learning. That is what in a short line I'm saying. So implementing, so I have tried to break it into steps so that we are able to understand and implement. Step one is accelerated learning methodology. First of all, the teacher should know very well the most critical prerequisites and skills the students need to access that level content. See, if you're going to teach particular content, particular topic, the class, say tomorrow, so you should know what are the prerequisites, right? What are the prerequisites required? You yourself should know, right? And we should be very well conversant with those prerequisites before you go through that, right? So this is step one, getting acquainted with the prerequisites. Step two, diagnose students' unfinished learning on prerequisite content. So you should devise a method, devise diagnostic, maybe a diagnostic test, maybe a game, maybe a puzzle, or something that tests whether the students know what skill you think they should be having. Okay. And then apply the pre-unit assessment curriculum-based resources. Okay. So these assessments should be part of the curriculum system. Okay. You should try not to use the excess knowledge or extra knowledge required for that. No time for that. And step three is, once you have diagnosed what are the prerequisites required, providing just-in-time inputs to address unfinished learning on the pre. So you have diagnosed that for the topic that you're going to choose, that you're going to teach, say next week or tomorrow. Today you conduct some kind of diagnostic on that, a short one, and we'll tell you that, give you an indication that students need some inputs on revising those concepts, and then you do the what is called just in time. So this is a very crucial phase, just time. It is not elaborate remedial class you should conduct. Give inputs that is good enough for them to work. Okay. So these are the three steps required. If anybody has a question till now, please ask. Otherwise, I will go to some activity mode where we'll be doing examples.
Sir, in this, how do you measure the outcomes?
Where one?
So in this accelerated learning steps.
Right. If you like,
step-
you can do the diagnostic test again, what I am suggesting. So you can go to step 1 again, okay, with a different diagnostic test or a quiz or something, and see whether the students have understood or not what you wanted to say, right? That is the only way. How does a doctor know that you went to the doctor saying that, doctor, I have a cough. Doctor says 3 दिन के लिए दवाई खाओ, बाद में आके मेरे को दिखाना, right? So
yes.
the doctor has to have a look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Here you are the doctor and you have to ask the student, okay, your patient, okay, now open your mouth and show me how's your throat. Are you understanding what I am saying?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So this is not a like sometimes you may have to go to step 1 again and you find that, oh, there are still gaps left. Okay. Maybe you need some more inputs, just in time inputs required. You may have to do that. Okay. That depends on a particular class, a particular teacher, particular set of students. Okay. So you can give, after giving some hints, some suggestions, okay. Like the doctor, when your throat is upset, he says, "Dawai khana," और साथ में थोड़ा gargling भी करना, right? So along with that, you the student that and along with do this these problems class section or something. As a teacher has to design something. Okay? So I will try to give you some inputs on that. Okay. So let me. I hope my internet stays with me. It is saying that there is a problem with your internet. Anyway, till now everybody is able to hear, see, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if problem comes, then I will have to, what do I do about my internet? Suddenly there is a warning coming on my screen saying your internet is some problem. Okay. So I am starting with some activities. Okay, on the process, the way I have suggested things. So is a primary level. Okay, you want to teach unlike fractions. Okay, so is there any primary teacher in the audience? My voice is feeble. Okay, so what do I do? Let me see if I can change. Just a minute. Is it your side problem or is it my side problem? I think my thing says it is good enough.
No, not my side.
Yeah, I think somebody said my voice is cracking. Probably it's their side.
So your voice is clear. Your voice is clear.
Okay, fine. I don't know. I have lost where I was. Where is my screen gone? Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes, we can see.
Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead. Okay. So let me go ahead. So according to those 3 steps, I'm going to do this. So I was asking, is there any teacher of primary level? I want to discuss something with any teacher teaching K to 5, kindergarten to 5, or anybody teaching has taught adding unlike fractions. And any teacher?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So please, if you want to teach adding unlike fractions, what difficulties normally students face? Do you have any input for that? Any observation you would like to share?
Sir, in converting like fraction.
Okay. So the first idea should be converting into
Like fraction.
like fractions. So
Yes.
that is a background knowledge that we expect the students to have. Right?
Yes.
Okay. So for that, we'd like to have a diagnostic test. So I want to conduct something more like instead of paper pencil, you can do it with paper pencil because there is no harm in that. So possible diagnostic tests I want to conduct. So I would like everybody to do that. Okay. So please in your okay. So let me. I'm going to take you to outside now. This. I have put a link in the chat box. You click that, you'll be taken somewhere where you'll be offered something. So please do that. Is everybody that?
So you put the link, I'm not saying.
That link doesn't work.
No, I can't see the link.
Yes, sir.
In the
No, you
chat
have not
box.
put, no, you have not put the link.
In the chat box, sir.
In the chat box. In the chat box, I have put a link. My chat box is not visible.
Sir, you have not put the link in the chat box. Please check. No.
I just put, okay, let me see if I can do it again.
Can you put once again?
Yeah, oh, okay. It has gone to one particular person. It has not gone to everybody. Okay,
Yeah,
because
it must not be for everyone.
Yeah. So let me do it for everyone now.
Yes, now we can see.
No, earlier I was interacting with somebody. So it went to that person only. So where is my classroom? Okay. How do I access my classroom? Yeah, you can see now the link as well as the.
Yes, we can see.
I can see some of the participants are already logged in, clicked the link and are working on it. So there is a puzzle about like fractions. So please try to complete that puzzle. So Ria is already done 2 steps. Indu has done reasonably well. Go ahead. Akanksha has not yet started. So yes, Akanksha, you should be doing that quiz I am asking you to do. Don't jump ahead. Okay, you are doing the wrong one. Please come back and do the first one. There's a puzzle later on to be done. Okay, if you like, you can do both together now. You can do both and see, let us see. The first one is the diagnostic and what Akanksha is doing, that is called so here is task 1. Here is, so there are 2. Okay. Task 1 is a puzzle and other is creating corrections. Good. So Rajeshwari has already completed. Okay. You can go do the next one if you like. Yes, creating equivalent fractions. So second one is to give just-in-time inputs. Students don't know what are like fractions, so probably would like to give them an input on that. Okay, what does like fractions or equivalent fractions? Other name given is equivalent fractions. Okay, so it has taken about 5 minutes for the good students. I would say those who have already completed the puzzle, and people are already on the second one, which is about creating like puzzles. Okay.
What we have to do?
No, it just that is the input I want to give. I want to show students what are like fractions. So just go through that and click the arrows so that you whether it gives you any idea about what are like fractions. Imagine yourself as a student who doesn't know what are like fractions or what are equivalent fractions. Whether this applet second one works for you, whether it makes things clear or makes it more clear to what is the equivalent fraction. So that is the input I would like to give to the students. Rather than just saying multiply numerator and denominator by the same number, and
Yeah,
you get
make the above arrow until the denominator will be same.
right. So that is a way of giving the same input, that multiply numerator and denominator by the same number in a more interactive way. Right?
Right.
If you give it an algorithm to create equivalent fractions, multiply numerator and denominator. So that is, you want the student to memorize. Of course, you will do it as you insist, and then you will say, okay, now you can do what I wanted you to do. Okay. So almost everybody has completed. So shall I close the, see, this is another thing I wanted to show you. I have picked up 2 GeoGebra applets. One is a quiz type that is completing the puzzle. Okay. And the second is just-in-time inputs for the next third part of my session, that to make students aware or make it clear what is equivalent fractions. And both have been done using GeoGebra. Okay. I haven't given it as a classroom. I think I might have spent about not maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes on these 2 applets. Okay. To diagnose, the first one is to diagnose whether the students have a problem in like fractions or not. If they take a lot of time and if they are not able to complete, then there is an issue involved. I should give just-in-time inputs. And for just-in-time inputs is the second that applet that gives. There are many applets one can have. I just wanted to give you a flavor. And all these things are effective way in a GeoGebra classroom setting, right? One can do it provided, of course, internet is available. I think now the plus point of pandemic is that most of the schools, most of the students, internet access, so you can do this kind of things with them. Okay. So let me go back to my slides. Yeah.
Yeah, first one is the web browser, and second one the Geogebra app. So.
Yeah, both were in the GeoGebra classroom. Applets. Okay, let me probably open and show you. Okay. This is the applet I think I had for the diagnostic part. Yeah, this was the applet which was presented to you. So the idea was the student should see that this is 1/3 and you have to bring in these fractions from there to there and see which is the likely one. Okay, so you can just pick up one and bring it here, whichever way you like, whichever place you like, okay, and put it there. So the idea is all these should be put up inside. So if the student knows 1 by 3, what are the possible equivalent fractions? It could be 2 by 6 or 3 by 9. So here is a 3 by 9, right? If the student knows, so can bring it here. If the student doesn't know, then they will have a problem of bringing it here. So this was the first applet. This is more a game-like situation created.
क्लास झाला का तुमचा? तुम्ही इथं बसले होते ना? आठवीचे इथं बसले होते ना?
Please keep your mic shut. Hello, participants, please keep your mic shut. Otherwise, I can hear you. What are you telling your students? You can have more such things. I have some more apples like this. Let me just show you some more, which I did not bring it to the classroom. For example, this is a paper pencil kind of a thing. Okay. 1 by 4 is equivalent to what? Let the students write down on a piece of paper in there. You can show it and ask them to write it out among themselves. And you want to check what is the answer, then you can ask them to check the answer. Okay. So it's more like paper pencil thing, but you save time in writing down on the board and asking students to copy, right? Ask students to fill in the question marks by the suitable things, right? And you can go over to the next one. For example, this is another one, okay? So here is the answer. If you want to go, you can go to the next one and you can, okay? So this is the type of things you can do with the interactive way, and you can, the idea is to bring the students interest on the topic that is equivalent fraction. See, Akanksha, if your mobile screen is not working, I'm sorry, you can try to use YouTube. So this is again something similar to the earlier one, maybe slightly more difficult. So now here you match both the sides and fill up the gap. So 2 by 3, you should pick up which one you can drag. For example, you can drag it here and this, but that does not match. 0 by 3, 0 by 7, it matches. So this matches. Now something you should bring 2 by 3. So what you can bring from 2 by 3? Okay. From here you can bring 2 by 3 and something. So that is again something similar. So all these resources are not, I am not asking you to create GeoGebra applets for yourself. I didn't create any one of the GeoGebra applets myself. I did not create any one of the GeoGebra applets myself. They were all available on the internet. They were all available on the GeoGebra site. I only have to pick up the right one and maybe change something a bit to make it suitable for myself. Okay. So you don't have to understand, you don't have to know GeoGebra to create an applet. You have to know only how to manipulate applets for that. Okay, so that is one diagnostic. Once the students have heard, so a diagnostic assessment showed that 12 of the, in some class, 20 children of the 3rd grade had skill levels of only 2nd grade. Okay. Some students struggled with halves. What is a half of a fraction? Okay. How do you cut a fraction into half? So that was a difficulty they had, and in the equivalent fractions. So in case the teacher has to go back and teaching 3rd grade work for multiple ways, it will take a lot of time. Instead, this kind of things can be brought in. Okay. Here is something that I want to, in general, so there is the outcome of the diagnostic test. Here is something on fractions, which I discovered it after a long time. Why should I convert fractions to unlike fractions to like fractions? Can somebody tell me? Can one of the participants say what is the reason which will convince a student that I should convert unlike fractions to like fractions to add or subtract or to multiply?
Sir, to make easy, because if denominator is same, it is easy to add.
Yeah, it is easy for you to say add numerator,
Yeah, sir.
right? So it's a algorithm. It is only algorithm that becomes easy to operate. You are only on the algorithm. You are not elaborating on the understanding of the student.
No, sir, because by converting into like fraction, this is the proper way. How
No,
to?
that is a proper way. That is a proper way. What we have been told, right, in the previous class,
Yes, sir.
right? To make equivalent fractions, then only you can do some, right? But why should I convert it into equivalent fractions? What things makes it easier? Any other teacher would like to give an input? Yes, I want to take out 1 by 4 from by 2 with equal parts. Very good. That is more closer to what we want to say. Visualizing the parts the same of total unit is easier. Good. That's
So,
yeah.
may I?
Yeah.
Here the concept of unit and the entire thing would be explained well.
Yeah, we
That
should
is
explain
parts and yeah.
Well said. We should. What example I would like to give? For example, if I give students have come across 3 apples for 2 apples is equal to 7 apples, right? Students, somebody's mic is working. Please, mic. Is it okay that if I give the problem to students saying add 3 apples and 5 apples, they will have very easily 7 apples? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I can sort of, I'm now in a mode, I'm conducting a class kind of a thing. Okay. Now, can you add 3 apples and 4 bananas? If I want a student to add 3 apples and 4 bananas, will a student be able to do that?
No, sir.
Yes, the answer will be 7 fruits.
7. I didn't say. I said 3 apples and 4 bananas.
No,
Where
sir.
Where do the things come?
No, it is fruits, 7 fruits, but not.
There will be 7 fruits.
Yes. So if the question was
operative addition,
three fruits plus 4 fruits is equal to 7 fruits. I can't have 3 apples.
4 bananas.
So now you see the unit is coming into picture. Now you see the unit coming into picture. Okay. So let us come to our fractions. I want to add 3 by 4 and 3 by 8. The only thing we have to tell the students is the denominator indicates the unit. The denominator indicates the unit. So 3 by 4 and 3 by 8. Okay. They are 4 parts of 3. These are 8 parts of 3. So units are not same. How do I bring the unit same? Now keep in mind that example of apples, I want to bring the unit same. How do I make the unit same? Unit is the denominator, right? So if I make the one same, what I will do?
By taking LCM.
It is, you can make it 6 8s and 3 8s. Now the units are same. Is it okay? Now this thing is same as saying 6 8s and this is 3 8s. The total is 18. So now I can bring in that algorithm that is equal to. So probably this is the input I give to my student. I think somebody's mic is giving a lot of problem. I don't know whose mic is it. Is it Ravi Kaushal? Now it is not there. Yeah, now it is there. So Ravi Kaushal, I think you are giving a lot of problem. Probably please keep it short till you want to
Okay.
say something.
Okay, sir.
Please, because it is giving a lot of distress otherwise to everybody. So is it clear what I input I am trying to give to you? So we rarely give this kind of simple examples inputs. So this is just in time input I would like to give it to the students for go for creating applets. You can have Geogebra applets. If I will just quickly show you one or two so that which will for example, I want to 8 by 9, I want to create equivalent multiply 6 numerator, denominator. Okay. If I want, I can change it. So I can multiply by 2, divide denominator by 2, 16 by 8. Why are they giving me same? So visually, if you want to say, show that the same part, right? This is what we diagram we show to students. This is 8 by 9 and this is 16 by 18. Are the same or same not? I will move this. Okay. And that should at least visually convince him that him or her that these are the same parts. So these are the kind of things we should bring in for students. Okay. Oh, sorry. I think I closed everything. I will close this. I think I closed my presentation also probably. Yeah. So I have done one example fully with you, okay, on the 3 parts. So these are the just-in-time inputs we will give. If you like, one can go on to creating what is half of an fraction. One can have a applet for that. And then you can go on to your addition and subtraction, arithmetic of unlike fractions. So shall we, any questions till now want to ask, or shall we go ahead? Let me, sir, what is the role of higher mathematics like algebra and topology in practical life? I think you are asking a very different question to me. What is the role of higher mathematics like algebra and topology in practical life? I strongly suggest to attend lectures at Math Clinic. I think I probably to everyone Math Clinic. See, there is a every week we have, every Saturday normally we have a lecture. There is a series of lectures under what is called Math Clinic, where we ask experts to come and lecture on various things. Some of the questions you have in your mind, what are the uses of such things? What are the applications? For example, last week we had one lecture by Professor Sudhir Ghorpade from IIT Bombay, who gave how algebra is used in coding theory. Okay. How algebra is used in coding theory. So one would have never thought, probably some of people would have never thought that algebra can be used. Algebra is so how report is not working, that is not my problem. Probably you should search for Rajya Sabha presentation or send me a mail. I'll send you a link for that Rajya Sabha presentation. Okay. Anyway, so somebody asked that question. Who was it who asked the question about higher mathematics? What is the role of, is it Who is it? Name, I'm not getting the name. Somebody? Somebody asked the question, what is the role of higher mathematics in algebra, like algebra and topology in life?
So that message was sent to you personally because I can't see it in the chat.
Yeah, somebody by the name ALKN. Akanksha Rai. Is Akanksha Rai there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Akanksha, please send me a mail on my email. I'll send you to the lectures we are having. Okay. My email at
Participants, please avoid sending personal messages. Please write to everyone so that everyone knows. You know.
Yeah.
Please don't write personal messages, please.
Very good suggestion. I respond back thinking I have given it to everybody. Okay, here is my email. So if you have anything outside the present topic of discussion, please send me a mail. I will try to respond. Okay.
Okay,
so do
sir.
that. Yeah. So let us come back to the present inputs. So anything on the present example, anybody wants to ask, please ask. Otherwise, I'll go to the next example. No, nobody has a question. Let me go to. So this was adding and subtracting, unlike fractions. One can have a GeoGebra applet. I'll just quickly show you. Probably that will motivate you to do such things. Have your design your classes according to this. So 1/2 plus 1/3 numerator. So what should be next step after having given those inputs? I want to bring the unit same. So I should make it same. So 3/6 plus 3/6. So if you add, right? So that gives.
Oh, hello, sir.
Yes.
One of the YouTube participant has a question.
Yes.
How to maintain academic standards in each and every topic of a lesson?
How to maintain?
Yes, sir. How to maintain academic standards in each and every topic of a lesson?
First of all, the question is not very clear to me. Probably the question means that to maintain certain standard which you have set for yourself, right, as a standard, right? So there is no universal standard which everybody should try to maintain. Okay, the standard is your aim is that students of your class should understand that particular topic. Okay, if that particular topic is that they should understand and are able to maintain, able to do arithmetic of unlike fractions, then the standard would be go to the diagnostic, remove the hindrances, and then do the topic with some examples. So that will be the standard. Okay. Right. Somebody is asking YouTube link. So probably Vinny, you can put the YouTube link in the chat box, but I don't see why when somebody is already there in the session, why you should ask for a YouTube link. Probably later on you can send it to them that this is also available there for further use if you want to. Okay. So if nobody has any other question on this particular example, let me go to the next example. So this is an example from the primary level. Let me go to an example of slightly higher level, relations and functions. This is a topic in CBSE class 9, and the prerequisites for the topic relations and functions as specified by them. Okay, they should understand what is cross product of sets and what is the Cartesian system. These, well, there is another question by somebody saying, what if students don't have any interest in mathematics learning? Ask them to leave mathematics and go home. Do pick up some other subject in which you have interest, but probably you are asked to by force. See, that is a problem with our lower classes. We are asked to study mathematics by force, right? So probably I'm not saying that ask him to quit learning. I'm asking that learn the way probably in a more interactive way. So, Oti, are you a teacher? The person who has asked the question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what do you do normally? If a student says he has no interest, what do you do?
Mathematics is a core subject in my area.
I don't want to go
So
to that. What is, if a student comes to you and says, I have no interest in math learning, what you will do?
I normally try to know why the student don't have interest in mathematics, to know the view why, the actual cause of it.
Yes. And then you try to probably remove that hindrance from that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So probably something like Geogebra, which is more visual, may help, because every student does not understand mathematics the same way, right? Some people understand if you talk to them properly. Some people understand if you show them something properly. Some people understand if you work out something analytically, right? There is a theory of multiple intelligences. Probably you should read something what is called theory of multiple intelligences and how that can be incorporated in your teaching of mathematics. Okay, that is very useful. Okay. So,
okay, sir.
Theory of multiple intelligences. Okay, and see whether that helps you. Let me go over to something now. Once again, back to my presentation. So class 9 relations and functions. The prerequisites are cross products of sets, Cartesian products, Cartesian coordinate system. So if the students does not have these two inputs, they cannot understand the topic of relations and functions. So these are the prerequisites. They are the blocks, building blocks for mathematics. Is not something, each unit is not independent. It is built on the previous knowledge. Okay. So step 2, diagnostic. So the here probably I will ask you to do it on paper pencil. I don't want to go into GeoGebra too much so that you shouldn't think I am promoting GeoGebra, but it is a very wonderful tool. Supposing the possible questions are, you have the set A as 1, 2, and you have the set B as 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So now try to answer the questions which I would have put it in a GeoGebra classroom, but I don't want to do that. So here at present, everybody should try to work it out and put your answer in the chat box. So does 1, 1 belong to A cross B? So please put your answer in the chat box. Answer is either yes or no. As soon as I get 10 responses, I will move ahead. So 8. I've already got, I think 8, if I'm counting the chat box properly.
No, sir.
Yes?
No, sir. Sir, 1 into 1 not belongs to A cross B.
Yes, yes. So you have already put your answer in the chat box, probably. So most of the people have said no. So that indicates that probably these persons at least understand. And somebody has given the reason also, 1 is not in the set B. So, right. So that is much more categorical answer. Okay. So let me, what happened? Something. Okay. So here is the next question. It is, yeah. Does 1, 1, does the picture represent the point A cross B? In this, points are labeled, okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, H, G, H, I, J, K, L. Okay. Does the picture represents the point in A cross B? Answer is yes or no. You have to put, because I'm testing how to represent ordered pair on the plane. So the question is, does the picture represent points on A cross B? So Ritu, Malik, Lenin, they are saying yes. So let me, you see, this is also an opportunity for you to start something called math talk in the classroom, which is an important component of mathematics teaching. So I want to ask one of you who is saying this picture, okay, does the picture represent this picture? I hope the question is clear. Does this picture represent A cross B? Right? Okay, so let me ask the question to, now let me start math talk in the classroom. I want to pick up one student who has answered the question. Okay. Is Pooja, yes, sorry, I jumped ahead in the chat box. Let me come slightly down. Okay. Lenin, are you there? Somebody using the name Lenin?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So Lenin, you will, you said, yes, this picture represents A cross B, right?
Yeah, actually I saw the first one, the points A, B, C, D, E, F, that represent A cross B. But the points H, J, L, G, I, K, that doesn't represent.
Yeah, so your answer is wrong. You realize.
Yeah, actually I should have added ahead. I'm so sorry, sir. It's my fault.
No, it's okay. Realizing the mistake is half understanding the concept. Nimesh, why did you say yes? Nimesh, Kunjani? Nimesh, are you there? Logged in but not there. Pooja Kadam, are you there?
Yes, sir. Same as what Lenin said. Even I realized it a little later. I'm sorry about it.
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
no question of being
No,
sorry.
because it was half read.
Yeah.
And so
so that is the lesson.
That's how.
We should,
yes.
That is the
yes,
lesson we should tell our
exactly.
students. Read the question properly. Think for a minute before answering. We are not.
True.
We are not playing KBC.
Yes.
There is no hot seat here.
Yes.
Okay. So
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So let us go over to the next question. Next question is, in the picture, which points are in the set A cross B? So now, by now, almost everybody has realized what is the set A cross B. Okay. So once the corrections were there, so let me go over to, in the picture, which color points represents B cross A? So the answer should be either red color or the blue color.
It's red, sir.
Red color.
Right. So you see, I am trying to bring in from the students the knowledge whether they know how to plot A cross B points, the ordered pairs on the coordinate plane, and whether they know the difference between A cross B and B cross A. I could have made this slightly more complicated, but so here is the question. Is A cross B equal to B cross A?
No, sir.
No. So this pictorial representation will categorically tell the student A cross B is not B cross A, not because A cross B is blue colored and B cross A is red colored. It is, or they are named differently. It is because the coordinates, if I look at A, okay, I can look at what is the, this is not a GeoGebra applet, it's only a picture. There, if you click on A, it will tell you what are the coordinates of A. And what if you click at H, it will tell you the coordinates of H. That is the beauty of GeoGebra. It will make him understand A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Okay. So possible gaps. So these are the possible gaps. Visualizing ordered pairs, having difficulty in plotting the points of the ordered pairs. For both of these, one can have GeoGebra applets giving the inputs. So let me, it's not difficult at all to either construct or pick up ready-made applets and bring it to your teaching and learning process. For example, here is an input saying what is A cross B. If I change A, I can change A. If I change in A, right, that is A is 3, here is A is 3. So, and here is the second coordinate B, I'm changing B. So how do you plot A and A comma B? That is one way of doing it. Okay, very simple graphical ways of showing this is possible using applets. Probably you should give your students an assignment. So for example, here you say Here you can enter the point instead of sliders. You can enter the point you want 2, 3. Okay. You want to know where is the point 2, 3. You click and it gives you the point 2, 3 on the. So plotting the point 2, 3. You can change 2 point. Okay, if you want minus 2 point minus 1. I have made a mistake. So I should have only 1. So from there, that point, you should go here to get that point. So if you want, what are the points? You can have a list of points, which I am doing 2 by 2, 3 minus 2, minus. So these are the ways of bringing students who don't like mathematics. Okay, they don't like to plot, but there is a visualization. There is the process, visualizing a process, how to go from one place to another. So that should motivate a student to. Okay. So this is the possible gaps, just-in-time inputs. I will show these applets and try to probably ask them to plot some points. And okay. Anybody has a question till now? Because I want to do.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
Sir, how we can represent equivalent relation in graph?
You want to do it in a Geogebra?
Yes, sir.
So make an applet.
Yes, sir.
Make an applet yourself. You will learn how to do it instead of.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay.
Or
okay,
do
sir.
one thing. Go to so let me go to the place and tell you how to, if you want to avoid doing a lot of work, short of time. So,
okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
No. So this is for everybody. Go to the site geogebra.org. Okay. So that is a site where lot of things are available. You can create your own site. I have logged in. There is my profile. Under my profile, various things are available. Okay. So you can create and use for yourself. Let us search. You can search the resources here. Okay. So what was equivalence relations? So equivalent fractions, equivalent relations. Let us see if something is available. If not, then we have to. There no result. No, my spellings were wrong. Relations. Let us see. Okay. Here is, you see the material. Equivalence relations. See what is useful for you and see whether you can use that or not. So this is on the Geogebra site, Geogebra.org. You can enter, you can search relations and then probably these on relations. Okay. So let me not go too much into it. Let me come back to my process. So either you can search, something will be available on the internet and it is free to download. Nobody minds it if you download it and modify it and use it. That is the beauty of Geogebra. You don't pay anything for downloading something made by others. Okay, the idea is precisely that you should make teaching and learning of mathematics easier and interesting for students. Okay, right. So here is, I don't know how many students or how many people are there of the level teaching class 12. Okay, but everybody should be able to understand that, or hopefully by the end of it will understand the concept of intervals of increase and decrease of function. Okay, so what are the prerequisites for that? Notions of increasing and decreasing of a function and the notion of derivative. These are the two things required to analyze the notion of intervals of increase or decrease of a function and its and applications of derivative for that. Okay. So what could be a possible diagnostic test? Can somebody say what could be a possible diagnostic test for this? What you should start thinking as a teacher? What should be the diagnostic test? What should include? What should be the diagnostic to understand increasing or decreasing? What should I have in my? What should be?
Sir, the first derivative is greater than 0.
That is the result. What I am saying is to diagnose whether the students know the concept of increasing and decreasing, what you will do in your classroom. How will you diagnose whether the students know that or not?
We can use example of a staircase.
Okay, good, very good. So what you will do with the staircase?
So we can say that if it is an increasing function, it's like we are going from first floor to the second floor and show them how a staircase looks like. And if we are explaining a decreasing function, we can show that we are coming from the second floor to the first floor. So this is how a function may look like.
What is the function? There is no function you have told me. I just would like to know, you are saying staircase is a increasing function when you are going up. It doesn't make sense to me. You have to say something more.
Sir, maybe the one function can be fx equal to x, and another example be fx equal to minus x.
So what you will do with f of x equal to x and f of x equal to minus x? What do you want to do?
So we can show that in the x-axis, if we are going from, let us say, point 1 to 2, in the y-axis also we are going up.
Okay. So that is, you are not testing, you are showing it.
Yeah.
So my question is to diagnose whether a student knows, what will you do?
Sir, can
Yes.
we show different graphs of increasing and decreasing function and ask the students which one is increasing function and which one is decreasing function?
Good. You are on the thing now, right on the track of thinking. I want to ask a student. So you present f of x is equal to x and you present f of x equal to minus x and then ask the question. Is any one of these functions increasing? Is any one of the functions decreasing? Right? And see their answers. That will tell you whether the student knows increasing and decreasing. Okay, so designing a diagnostic test will itself give you an input into the possible hindrances the students can have. You have to make the question very clear to you, very clear to the student. Right? So fx equal to x, as somebody said, give a graph, two graphs, and ask, can we do it on a single graph?
Sin x.
Sin x, very good. So what will be the question?
In which range it is increasing and in which range it is decreasing?
What do you mean by range?
Points on the x-axis.
Function is not increasing and decreasing on a point. It is in an interval. So very careful. Increasing, decreasing is a property of a function over an interval, not at a point. Continuity is at a point. Differentiability is at a point. Increasing, decreasing is not at a point. It is a property of a function on an interval. This is again a mistake we make. Okay? You understand what I'm saying? You give the graph.
Yes, sir.
So what will be your question? Modified question. Give the graph sin x and
tell the interval in which.
Ask the question. In what intervals the function is increasing? In what intervals the function is decreasing? Right? That is the proper way of doing it. Okay. So possible diagnostic tests. So let me. So intervals of increase or decrease at a point. Okay. I'm going to give you another way of testing, which you can use in the classroom. I showed you Geogebra classroom, and here is another one. Try to, can you click on this picture? Okay, let me, just a minute, let me put the link. Yeah.
Sir, it is almost time up, so if you can conclude.
You said 2 hours, no? 10 minutes more?
It is 5:25 almost. 5:20.
Okay, good. So I'll stop here diagnostic. And go to, okay. So is everybody able to see, copy, and put in the chat box to everyone? Paste.
Yes.
So I put a link in the chat box. If you want, you can click on this QR code here and you will be taken to something. Have you done that? Already some people have started answering the questions. So this is true false kind of a question. Okay. I present a graph and ask the question, the function is increasing or decreasing in this or not. Okay. So this is what is called Mentimeter. On the site Mentimeter, you can create 3 quizzes free, right? Without paying anything. That is what I have done. I have created 3 quizzes and I am presenting it to you. And online, you do it and I can see your responses. Okay. So these are the answers. This function is increasing in this, function is decreasing in this, and so on. So I think the time has come for me to stop because Vinny has given a ultimatum saying that please stop doing whatever you're doing. So let me come back. So these are diagnostic tests and students will know, you will know whether they know. You can also check differentiability at a point. Their website I can take you to, or quizzes, objective type. Okay, very interesting quizzes are there possible. Okay, so let me stop here and take you back. Stop presenting and take you back to the room. And already because of my presentation, around 30 people have dropped out of the presentation. There were 90 to begin with. 30 got bored of mathematics, I was telling them. So,
excuse me, sir.
Yeah, so
there was a PDF that you had given on learning loss that didn't open. So can you, is it possible to put the link again on learning loss?
That was Rajya Sabha thing, or which one was that?
Yes, Rajya Sabha thing.
Okay, I'll try to show you the website. If you can. Somebody, lot of noise coming. So please let me trace where is that. I'm taking you back to whatever I have said. Where is the Rajya Sabha thing? You want the link of that?
Yes, sir.
This one? This is the slide? Oh, you can't see the slide. Let me
No, we can't see the slide.
Let me share the screen again and is this the slide?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes.
But this TTPS you have put, no, that doesn't open to this site.
Okay. Okay. I just clicked and it opened. Okay.
So just
Here,
download.
here is the long.
Yeah.
I had shortened it so that you don't have to bother too much about it. But if you like, I will copy it and put it in
Yes, yes, put it, sir.
Copy. And where is the chat? Where is the chat box? And here is the paste. So here is the link. Okay. Yeah. Anything else from the slides you want? Otherwise, I will close the sharing thing and go back.
सर लास्ट स्लाइड क्या थी?
Last slide क्या थी? Okay, I don't know. Last slide.
34.
What I was showing you, right? Last slide. Okay, last slide. Let me see. What was the last slide? Yeah. This was the one. This has two applets. One is about increasing, decreasing, and the other is increasing and sign of the derivative. Both are very interesting applets. So let me just probably open this for you, and you can try to make it yourself. Or you see, here is something. It's like something going up, right? So this is the interval it is showing here. This is the interval in which it is increasing, right? And then if you increasing, and now it is decreasing. Okay, so up to here it is decreasing, and then again increasing. So then you have to come over and say that as you move from left to right, you are going up, that is increasing. As you move from left to right, you are coming down, so that is decreasing. As you move from left to right, okay, and then you are going up, then that is increasing. Okay, so that was the applet on increasing, decreasing, and here is sign derivative. That is slightly more slightly more interesting and slightly more whether you know the relation between. So these are three graphs given to you. One is the function, other is the derivative, and the third is the second derivative. So you have to point out which is the first derivative, which is the second derivative, what is the function. So you can see that in the interval, so this is the function where derivative is f dash x is bigger than 0. This is the derivative bigger than 0. There the function is increasing, and so on. Sign of the derivative. So normally in a calculus class, I show this, ask them to sort of do this thing, and then they come out with the theorem. The sign of the derivative is related with the increasing, decreasing of the function. So let me stop here. Yeah, somebody has a question to ask. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, participants, if you all have any questions, please pose your questions. Orally, you can unmute your mic and ask. We have few minutes for questions.
Excuse me, sir. I want to ask one question. I want one favor from you, basically. So if you have any recorded videos of your sessions, of your classes, can you share it with us? I would like to have some calculus videos.
Okay, so do one thing. I think calculus is available on YouTube. There is NPTEL. Search for name NPTEL. See, under this project, we have developed video courses on various things. So try to find out whether any video course is available on calculus.
Okay, sir. Can you share your email ID also? If I have any query, I can ask.
I just now shared that ikrana@gmail. I'll put it again. I had put it. So ikrana@gmail. Right. So YouTube has about 4 courses in the video format. Right. It is for the National Project on Technology Enhanced Learning. So it is Or you can search my name and videos by INDER RANA. We give you various links to various things and see what is useful for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. So kind of you.
Anybody else has a question to ask about this or anything else that I can help you with in teaching and learning? No? So Vinny, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your enlightening input. And we will now move on to the next section of this program where our students present a small research study that we have done. So over to Samantha and Ria to quickly present the research study.
Thank you, everybody, and take care.
Sir, please wait for this presentation also.
Not able to access camera. So welcome to this survey which we have conducted on mathematics counseling. So to begin with, we would like by asking what is mathematics counseling? So all of us know that the concept of counseling is not very new to us, but have we ever heard of mathematics counseling? So one might wonder what these terms mean. Mathematics counseling is when a teacher takes up the role as a counselor while teaching. So what does this mean? It simply means that the teacher is not intimidating or strict, but is very considerate towards the students and encourages them to ask questions in class. The teacher is aware of the individual differences that exist among students and strives to cater to the needs of each student by implementing innovative methods and strategies and having one-to-one conversation with the students regarding the difficulties they face. Now, what is the need for mathematics counseling? Today, parents and teachers have high expectations from students, especially with regards to their marks. The belief that scoring out of marks in subjects like math and science is easy compared to other subjects puts undue pressure on the students, which in turn might lead to problems such as math phobia, lack of interest in mathematics, etc. Mathematics counseling helps in overcoming all such issues as it makes students aware of their potential and develops among them an interest for learning mathematics.
So the first question was, I talked to the students about how to achieve better in mathematics. Almost 94.6% of the teachers agree with this statement because it is essential for a mathematics teacher to talk to the students not only with regards to strategies for achieving better in mathematics, but also to develop a liking for the subject.
The second question is, I make the teaching interactive so that the students can ask questions during the mathematics class. 69.9% of the teachers strongly agree, while 28.3% teachers agree with this statement. A mathematics teacher should always ensure that the class is interactive so that students feel free to ask questions during the class. Asking questions and seeking answers to them will help students deepen their knowledge and understanding of a given topic.
I try to assess what could be the problem that students are facing in the mathematics class. 66.3% of the teachers say that they always assess the problems faced by students in the mathematics class. 25.3% say they do it frequently, while 8.4% of the teachers do it only sometimes. A mathematics teacher should always make it a point to assess the problems faced by the students during the mathematics class. The teacher should find out the causes of these problems and help students find solutions in order to overcome them.
The fourth question is, I am very strict about mathematics tasks assigned in the class. 19.3% teachers strongly agree, 44.6% teachers agree, 28.3% choose to be neutral, while very few teachers disagree with this statement. A teacher should avoid both extremes, that is, being too lenient and being very strict. Instead, be approachable to the students. The role of a teacher whenever a task is assigned in class should be that of a facilitator so that the students do not hesitate to ask doubts and get them clarified simply because the teacher is strict. An extremely strict teacher can also develop a phobia for mathematics and create disinterest among the students with regards to the subject.
I welcome students' mistake with a smile. 40.4% of the teachers strongly agree, 49.4% agree, while 8.4% teachers prefer to be neutral about this statement. There's a famous quote which goes like this: mistakes have the power to turn you into something better than you were before. A teacher should always welcome students' mistake with a smile and ensure that the students do not feel offended for making the mistake. A teacher should help students analyze their mistakes and also motivate, encourage, and guide them to find the right solution for the same.
I prefer not to interact with students who do not pay attention in my class. 34.9% of the teachers strongly disagree, 52.4% disagree, while only a few say that they agree with this statement. A teacher should not neglect and ignore the students who don't participate in class. Instead, find out the underlying reasons for such behavior. A teacher should always try out different strategies to make the topic interesting and engage the students by integrating games, role plays, quizzes, art, etc., so that all students pay attention in class.
I try to work out ways to improve mathematical skills in my students. 62.7% of the teachers strongly agree, while 35.5% teachers agree with this statement. A mathematics teacher should always try out different ways to improve mathematical skills in the students. This may include game-based learning, connecting math to daily life, focusing on one concept at a time, etc.
I talk to parents about how to help students in mathematics at home. 44% of the teachers always talk to parents about helping students with mathematics at home. 30.7% say they do it frequently, while 22.9% sometimes make an effort in this direction. Teachers should always collaborate with parents and encourage them to create a conducive learning environment at home without instilling in them a fear towards mathematics by expecting excellent grades.
The counselor in school is especially asked to address problems in mathematics learning. 48.2% of the teachers say that the counselor in their schools is asked to address problems in mathematics learning. 27.1% disagree with the statement, whereas 24.7% teachers say that there is no counselor in their school. The school counselor should not only deal with psychological issues of the students, but also guide them with the difficulties faced in mathematics. Apart from the counselor, for promoting quality education, the teacher should guide and counsel the students even outside the classroom.
I link mathematics learning to psychological variables along with intellectual variables. 26.5% of the teachers strongly agree, 51.8% agree, while 17.5% teachers choose to be neutral about the statement. Teachers should always link mathematics learning to psychological variables along with intellectual variables for the holistic development of the students.
My focus on mathematics learning is to help students face challenges in life. Around 92.8% of the teachers agree with this statement. While solving problems, teachers should encourage the students to look at the bigger picture and correlate the learning experiences with their day-to-day lives. This approach will not only help students to solve problems in mathematics, but also prepare them to face challenges in life.
Mathematics brings more distance between the teacher and the student, as it is impossible to cater to each one of them. 66.3% of the teachers disagree, whereas 21.7% agree with this statement. Teachers must understand that every child in the classroom is unique and has her or his own pace of learning. Hence, a teacher should adopt creative teaching strategies so that students with different needs learn best. Some of these strategies could be differentiated instruction, capitalizing on learning styles, capitalizing on students' interests, using computerized instructions, etc.
I do not think counseling can help students in mathematics. 13.3% of the teachers agree, while 63.3% disagree with this statement. They say, Happiness is not the absence of problems, it's the ability to deal with them. Mathematics counseling can certainly help students overcome the various issues like math phobia and lack of interest in mathematics. It can help students to recognize their own potential and exploit it to the best of their ability.
I have maintained a reflective journal on how I need to help my students in mathematics. 52.4% of the teachers agree, while 47.6% teachers disagree with this statement. It is essential for mathematics teachers to maintain a reflective journal where they can note their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats about teaching the subject. The practice of maintaining a reflective journal religiously will help teachers to devise ways and strategies to help their students develop an interest in mathematics.
The thrust of my teaching is to collect data about the mathematical skills that need to be developed. 30.1% teachers strongly agree, 48.8% agree, whereas 18.7% choose to be neutral about the statement. Apart from transacting the content knowledge, teachers should also strive to develop certain mathematical skills like representation, spatial sense, measurement, estimation, pattern, and problem solving among the students.
I have a one-to-one talk with my students who need help. 95.8% of the teachers agree with this statement, while only a few disagree. A teacher has to be a friend, guide, philosopher, and a nurse to her students, as nature was to Wordsworth. Students should feel free to approach the teacher with their doubts, and the teacher in turn should appreciate the students asking questions in and outside the class.
I talk to my colleagues for new ideas and techniques for helping my students. 66.9% of the teachers say that they talk to their colleagues for new ideas and techniques to help students, whereas 30.7% say they do not at times. A teacher should frequently engage in conversation with her colleagues in order to know new ideas and techniques to help her students. Teacher can also be a part of various mathematics groups or association, or even collaborate with international mathematics teacher and keep themselves updated so that they can deliver to their students only what is best. This was the end of our presentation. Thank you.
I would request Lalin to give the feedback instructions and then Neral to propose the vote of thanks. Lalin?
Just a moment, ma'am. Just a moment. Yeah. So a gentle reminder to all participants present here, link for the feedback form will send in the chat box of the Zoom meeting and in the YouTube chat now. Kindly fill it to get the e-certificates. Please note that we are keeping the form open till 7:30 p.m. So all the participants are requested to fill the feedback form before 7:30 p.m. Once again, please note till 7:30 p.m. we are accepting the form. While filling the form, make sure that you enter your correct email address or the certificate will not be delivered to you. And also enter your name correctly because no changes would be done later. If you don't receive your certificate, please wait for 30 minutes and do check your spam folder. After 30 minutes, if you are still unable to get the certificates, then kindly contact any one of the student coordinators regarding the issue. Thank you. I hope you understood.
Participants, please note that there won't be any links put up in the WhatsApp group. It will only be on the Zoom and the YouTube. Inviting Neral for the vote of thanks.
As we, the students of SXI, are preparing ourselves for becoming future mathematics teacher, we are extremely grateful to Dr. INDER Kerali, a resource person for today's webinar, for taking time out of his busy schedule and lighting the flame of knowledge within us. We also thank our principal in charge, Dr. Geeta Shetty, teacher in charge, Dr. Vinny Sebastian, for always encouraging and supporting us to do the magic. The greater, the better, the more. I would like to extend my gratitude to all our students coordinators for the immense efforts in organizing and coordinating this webinar. And last but not the least, we thank you all, dear participants, for spending your valuable time with us and making this webinar a success. By incorporating all the strategies and solutions that we have learned from this webinar series, let us all share to make a difference to the mathematics teaching learning process and drive the fear of maths out of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. You can fill the feedback
Excuse
form.
me, ma'am. Feedback form link has not been shared in the chat box.
It has been shared. Please check. Share it once again. Able to see it? Hello? Students,
Yes,
can you
ma'am.
hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Thank
I
you.
have got it. Thank you.
So I'm ending the meeting now. All of you, thank you very much for attending. I'm ending the meeting.